Welcome back, everyone. This is the Prince Miller Show. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe. We're going to talk today about a few things, a few topics. A lot has went on since the last time that we were here together speaking. And so, again, I told my cousin he has free reign and asked me whatever it is that he wants to say, because he's the one who watches the blogs and YouTubes and stuff like that. I barely watch him. Sometime I do. Sometime others watch it for me. But either way, I'm going to respond to whatever he has to say. And so that's where we at.
I don't even want to play around with this. I'm going to just go right into it. As of recently, our man, Job, been in the blogs. He had a little situation on a plane with them G-Unit guys or whatever like that, Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder. And, they had like their little altercation on the plane. So like, what's your take on that? Like Ja Rule stood up, he wanted to get it on, he wanted to fight. And, they were sitting right behind each other on the plane. Like one was in seat 3A and then Ja was in seat 3A and they was in the seat directly behind them. So like they pass was going to cross regardless. There was no way they could have avoided that. And then things escalated and they asked Ja Rule to get off the plane. So like, what's your thoughts on how everything unfolded with that?
Before I answer this question, so this is the question you said. You told me, I gotta. The first question I'm gonna ask you is gonna be a humdinger, right?
Yeah.
That was some shit like that you said, right?
Yeah.
And this is the question, or is this another one you talking about?
No, I have 4 for you that's gonna be like that, but this was the first one I wanted to come on this show and talk about because Ja's home team for us. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to know your thoughts about what they like that whole situation about him being on a plane and that happening with the G-Unit guys.
Well, first off, I'm gonna say one thing. I didn't expect that question.
Yeah,
but I seen something a while ago at the end of the year that Uncle Murder did. And I liked it, the fact that he put out something at the end of the year and he referenced something related
the wrap up.
The wrap up,
yeah.
Right? And he referenced Supreme Team Doc. He referenced some of the things that I said, I think, in the interview before. Mm-hmm. And I actually liked it that. Yeah. I said, yeah, that was
I don't like you giving him shout outs though.
I'm speaking. See, That's the thing about this platform. We speak and we respond and you can say what you want. And I understand that you may not like what I said.
Yeah.
But I didn't say it's a shout out.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely acknowledging that I liked it.
Okay.
So, But that being said, what I didn't really like was that whole altercation. It bothered me from a lot of different perspectives. First of all, common sense tell you, if either one of them, Tony Yayo or Uncle Murder, actually got into a physical altercation, they would be put on a no-fly list. Mm-hmm. And they would be banned from flying probably. And therefore that would interfere with how they make money, the things they do, travel arrangements and stuff like that. So it was really stupid from all perspectives. But you got to remember, guys come from the street and they still got a little bit in them. They come from a certain kind of upbringing maybe. So they still got a little something in them. And if someone is challenged, they're going to feel some way, whether it's verbally or physically or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, it was really, something that they shouldn't even have did. They in the first class. First of all, they in first class. They got things to do. They trying to get somewhere, go somewhere. They could have sat there easily and paid each other no attention whatsoever. But let's assume that they did it because, or someone did it because they want content.
Yeah.
Or they trying to get known. Because that came up. I read that in a few comments.
Of course.
Because allegedly Vlad was there at the thing, went and picked somebody up or something like that. He wanted the first dibs on something.
No, Vlad interviewed Yayo the day after it happened, or the day it happened, Vlad interviewed him and they put a clip out the next day talking about it.
But I seen something where they tried to say he picked somebody up. I don't even know if that shit is true, if he picked them up or not, right?
Yeah, they used Ja to get publicity for their podcast. That's what it was.
Maybe so, right? And that might be, that's how it looked, right? But that being said, it was really something that shouldn't have been done because truthfully, suppose somebody would have really reached out and touched somebody, like somebody would have got hit, it would have been on because ain't nobody gonna stand there and not deal with that. They on camera, people, everybody in the plane taking, because it was a small snippet came out from them, right? On the Vlad interview, it was a small snippet, but then a bigger snippet of it came out. You know what I'm saying? And they got too much to lose, I think, on both sides. And to me, it was stupidity.
Well, Ja has more to lose than them.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. You know what I'm saying?
They don't really got nothing going on for real like that.
Yeah, but I don't know what they got going on. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. If they had something going on, you would see it.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't count people's pockets.
Yeah.
And I don't really care what most people are doing, right? But you brought it up, and Ja later on gave an apology because he got sponsors and he got other things. He do got a lot going on. He was a big man for that, you know what I'm saying? But he had to say something back, because if he just stand there and don't say nothing at all, how the cameras look, they're gonna make that a big issue that he ain't say nothing. So
I just feel like people just be trying to antagonize Ja a lot, man. And I just feel like I don't know why people want to try him. And at some point in time, he just get fed up, and then you explode because you trying to live your life, and people keep antagonizing you. What you supposed to do? You supposed to punch them right in their mouth.
No, you know what I wish. You want me to talk raw? I'm gonna talk raw. Of course I do. It would have been nice, right? It would be nice, right? Take Uncle Murder out of it for a minute. If Ja Rule and Tony Yayo, because that seems like something that they got some type of issue, maybe because he Yayo with 50 or whatever. But 50 can fight his own battles, right? But if I was Tony Yayo and I was Ja, in fact, I would love to get both of them two, just Ja and Tony Yayo, to a boxing ring. They can put on the gloves. They can put on headgear. Listen, this is what I thought when I saw it. This is what I thought. I would love to see them two get in a boxing ring with gloves on, headgear or no headgear, 3 rounds only, right? We get a referee. Let them ref the 3 rounds, right? And let them go for 3 rounds. But after that's over, whoever wins or lose, y'all don't have no issues with each other at all. When you see each other, it's how you doing, or don't speak at all. And I know that's some far-fetched thing that would never.
Tony Yayo would never do that.
No, I don't know who wouldn't do it.
Tony Yayo would never. What I'm
saying is, I would love to see Ja Rule and Tony Yayo in the ring, right? And have at it. But after that happened, I would love to see that, because they calling each other names and saying things, right? Go the next step. Make it legitimate. Make it legal. Hell, y'all might even get paid off of this one. Everybody would come to see. Look, everybody would come to see that. Let me set it up for y'all. I'll get the ref. I might even ask Shakur Stevenson or Terrence Crawford or one of them.
Even your man, nothing but sports.
I would ask them, one of them, can y'all ref this fight for me, man? Right? Or can y'all call the fight?
Yeah.
Or who wins at the end? Right? There you go. That's what I would love to do. That Ja Rule, Tony Yayo get in the boxing ring, headgear, no headgear.
No headgear.
Right? And gloves on though, 3 rounds. Let Shakur Stevenson, Bud Crawford, and hold on for a minute. I would have to find one more person and let them be the judges. And of course, we get a ref in there. Man, that would be the talk of the town, man. You hear me?
Yeah. Who you got your money on?
It ain't about who I got my money on.
No, I want to know who you got your money on. If you set up the fight, you got to tell me who you got your money on.
First of all, I'm speaking in a far-fetched manner, but this is what crosses my mind when I see stuff like that. When people do things when they know they ain't nobody gonna really touch nobody, because y'all ain't gonna get on that no-fly zone. So what are we doing? Right?
Yeah.
Period.
Ja was just fed up, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not even complaining. I understand Ja.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not really a shit starter type person. You know what I'm saying? And I understand who started. I can see and tell how it started and who started it. First of all, it came out that people knew he was going to be on there anyway.
Exactly. But
now to be on some real gentleman stuff, right? they supposed to mind each other's business and enjoy the flight, man, get where you gotta go and don't even say nothing to each other. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Y'all are professionals, man. You're trying to be professional about what you into, right? Listen to me. They trying to get money and be professional. All that stuff you do, that shit, that's street shit. That's like shit you do in the neighborhood, calling each other. The only difference is you got a chance to touch somebody. You ain't touching nobody on no airplane. So to me, in reality, just not no joking around, it was really stupid. It could have cost all parties.
Yeah.
And like, you know me, when I speak on this platform, I try to be fair, I try to be balanced, and I ain't taking no sides. I may like somebody or dislike somebody or not. I'm still gonna be fair to the situation. I'm gonna call the balls and the strikes the way they are.
But but when you can't call the balls and the strikes how they are, if we at the home team, we supposed to go with the home team, in my opinion. So whether the person was wrong or right, we'll tell them that behind closed doors. But publicly, I think that we should always go with the home team and Ja's home team. So let me that goes to me asking you this: do you think because my pops and your uncle had a certain alliance with different people, do you think by default that you have to go with those people, or you think you can just like make your own choices and your own decision who you choose to deal with and who you choose not to deal with? Because everybody would automatically assume that because Preem was rocking with them, you gotta rock with them because we family.
I got a saying, right? It goes like this. A man must stand, be he the first or the last, a man must stand. And if he be the only man, that man must stand alone, right? There are times when you have to stand on your own. And so in answering your question, this is a time when I stand on my own because this is the Prince Miller show. I'm calling balls and strikes and I'm being fair and impartial. Anybody can get up here. I will invite anybody to I'll interview anyone, and I'm gonna be fair about the topic and the situation. If it's some fake stuff you trying to put out, not you, but someone's trying to put out when they talking to me, I'm gonna bring, bro, I think that's a fraud. I think that's not accurate. You know what I'm saying? I like to be fair. Regardless to any team you on, that's the problem now with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the home team, everybody wants to have the advantage. You know what I'm saying? It's like kids, it's like, give you an example, kids going to school. One kid going to school, good kid minding his business. 3 other kids going to school, but they a team. They see the kid, they want to take his lunch money or they want to jump him or do something because he's different, because he ain't got nobody with him and he by himself, right? And so he gets jumped, all because he's standing on it by himself. You know what I'm saying? That ain't fair. You know what I mean? And so when you talk about home team, sometimes I don't like to go by that philosophy of home team. You know what I'm saying? I like to stand on my own, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. Of course, you never forget about history and all that stuff, but the point is, I don't like to take sides I don't like to take sides when something is wrong. If you don't check the person is wrong, that's how shit escalate. You know what I'm saying?
When you was incarcerated for all that time, right? I'm sure you had like people coming up to you, like asking you about what was going on in the street between Murder Inc. and the G-Unit thing, my pops at 50. Like, what was some of those conversations about, like when they was coming up to you in there, when everything was in the thick of everything in the late 90s and early 2000s? Like, how that happened in there?
Yeah, that happened a lot. And I always, I never liked it, that stuff, man. I never liked it to see the homies from Queens get, or anywhere. I didn't like to see them going. That you talking about Murder Inc.
and G-Unit.
Mm-hmm. I never liked it, that stuff. I hated it. It bothered me. I hated it with a passion because it shouldn't have got out of control like that. It shouldn't have got to the situation. It shouldn't have been that way, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I don't know if you know this or not, but truth be told, Preem actually told Irv to bring 50 in, man. He actually told him that. Like, yo, man, sign him, man. He actually told him that, man. And I know this because he told me. That's what he should have did. You know what I'm saying? And he should have signed him not to shelf him, but shine him to elevate his career and elevate his own self.
In Queens.
Period. Because you know why? It would have been like, that would have been a hell of a situation. And I say that in looking back because recently somebody, because you know, I got people that work for me to watch the YouTube because I don't have a lot of time to be watching the YouTube really, right? I watch it when they tell me to look at something important. So they told me to look at this right here. And it was something about when Irv was speaking, God bless him, man, God bless him. And he was speaking about, he didn't want to sign him. And I mean, he said he should have signed him.
To shelf him. Yeah.
And I said, when I saw it, I said, damn, Irv, you should have signed him to elevate him, right? Not to shelf him. It's about making money. Regardless that y'all might have been verbally going at it at the time, shit, you bring him in. He got on anyway. You know, the homies out of California, the people out of California seen it and said, yo, we're gonna sign him and look where he at now. So it'd have been the same result. You know what I'm saying? So I would have signed him. Me personally, I would have definitely signed him. Why make someone your enemy when he can be your friend? You feel me? And so that whole thing to me was just silly, man. The whole thing was silly. And I don't resolve problems like that. You know, and in that life, in that game, I would think that you want to see somebody rise up. We so busy going against each other, man. And that's why we still got people ready to beef on airplanes and shit. Shit is dumb, man. You know what I'm saying? Really, really crazy. It's crazy. But you know, nowadays, that's what people want to see, the conflict.
Exactly.
You know?
Can I ask you something? And this is like a segue out of that for a little while, just to touch on a couple other things. You know, I'm always gonna be a comment reader, like no matter what, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. I always read the comments, and I seen a lot of people, like not a lot of people, but it was a couple here and there addressing about the whole thing with Alpo and the whole Harlem thing that you was talking about last time when we was on the show. But not just that, why in the world every time I see you, you always got them binders with you, man? What's up with them binders?
Oh, you asking me different questions?
No, because I'm getting distracted by the binder thing.
But first, I got you. I'll tell you why you see binders in a minute.
Yeah.
First of all, when I leave here, I'm headed to a publisher's office, and I got a book out already, and then the hardcover will be back on my Instagram. That's different. That's this book right here.
Yeah.
I have another book being done, and they are highly interested in, right? It's called The Paper Trail and Lies, right? I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to say the rest of the title yet, right? It's gonna be segments. So in my binders, right? In my binders, I have information factual information pertaining to stories that I'm gonna be publishing as an awareness tool for children, teenagers, and young adults in the streets to stay away from that lifestyle. And so when they read them books, they're gonna be like, wow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
what's the name of the title again?
I gave you I don't want to put
the first part. What was the name of it?
The Paper Trail and Lies. And I'm gonna stop right there.
Paper Trail and Lies.
And we're gonna stop right there because, like I said, I'm gonna put it out and then people will see the book's gonna go off the shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you referenced it.
Yeah, I want to show the people what I'm talking about with these binders, man, because this shit is crazy to me that you carry these binders around everywhere you go.
I have numerous sets of these binders, right? These binders cover every and anybody in the state of New York, right? Who went bad, right?
Yeah.
And so, but the story I'm telling is different. It's about that street lifestyle. Because so many people believe in that street lifestyle, right? Some people have gotten rich, some people have gotten, killed. Some people have, went broke trying to get rich. And that lifestyle, to me, so a lot of people spend time in prison behind it. So I'm gonna educate the youth about that lifestyle. So when it comes out, they'll see it and they'll understand it. And they'll see why my goal is to prevent as many children, teenagers, young adults as possible from going to the penitentiary. That's my goal. After spending 34 and a half years in prison, that is my goal. And can't nobody knock me for that. Because I don't want to see nobody walk the same path that I walked. It's all about the choices one makes. So this right here is—
That's all paperwork.
Yeah, this is paperwork, right? On several different people. Because like, you know, I believe this, right? Never call somebody something unless you got proof that it's true, right? You have to have proof. And that's the problem. Like when you see, that's the problem with that's the problem I got with people who will put another person in jail that they hustle with in order so that they can be out. Imagine you and me, we hustling together illegally, right or wrong, it's illegally, right? And you meet my family, I meet your family, we around each other all the time. Then when we get locked up and we swore we would never do this, right? We get locked up and you or whoever tells on me or whoever, so you can be with your children and your parents, but you don't want me to be with mine, right? That ain't right. Me personally, it ain't about a street code either. My thing is, I can't put someone in prison, anyone, whether I know them or not, actually, but I'm particularly talking about the people I hustle with. Mm-hmm. I can't put someone in prison away from their families, right? Just so I can be with mine. I can't do it. I don't know how people even do something like that.
If they questioning you in the precinct or wherever they question people at, right? And you make a statement.
Never gonna happen.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general. If somebody makes a statement to the police, but they don't use that statement to convict the person, but that person still made the statement, are they still a rat? Even if the police don't use the statement that they made against the other person?
If a person makes a statement against someone, but they don't use the statement to convict the person, the person still gave information.
So that's what, a rat?
No, that's a confidential informant rather. Sometimes if the information doesn't get used, you're still informing. You will always find people who will support a rat, an informant, or a confidential informant, even when there's paperwork to prove that's what he is. Always. And then you will have people who will say, this is the real. This is what a person is. And I'm reason why I say that too is because I'm gonna deviate for a minute. I grew up at a time in Queens where you heard certain names, right? And then as I got older, I got to meet the people, the names that I heard. And I'm gonna talk about Harlem now. When I think about Harlem, I think about when it comes to that street life, right? I think about Bumpy Johnson. I think about Frank Matthews. I think about Guy Fisher. I think about William Underwood. I think about Peter and Stevie Monsantos. Those were people who hustled at a high level. They stood up when they got arrested, right? Served their time. Most that I mentioned, besides Frank Matthews, ones that I mentioned, William Underwood, Guy Fisher, Pete and Stevie Monsantos, and then Bumpy Johnson did time as well. They did their time like men and they came home. Today, some of the ones that still living, are doing positive things for their community. They are the examples. Those are the stories that aren't getting told that should be told, right? The Hollywood, I think, and the government, especially the government really, they want to tell these stories about these rat dudes, these informers, and because honestly, it helps to create more of them, to put more of us away anyway. So they glorify the outposts, and they don't speak about the ones who stood up and then came home and changed their lives around. They don't even tell their stories, right? So now you got a society or a group of young people from our neighborhoods, right? Because it was a few little comments and a few of these rat YouTubers and stuff like that, you know, speaking up, getting other people to speak up, referencing things and saying stuff. Most of it ain't even true, can't be proven. But the point is, they glorifying snitching. They glorifying people who put people away from their families, right? Now, I'm not saying the things that we did, that when we hustled was right. I'm not trying to say glorify us or glorify them. But you glorifying the rat dudes who did those things and even worse. When I spoke about Alpo, I spoke about facts. I said he was a murderer or a killer, right? Even though it's a little difference to me between the two, but let's just say that he was a rat and he was a snake. Let's go through the facts of it, because after this, I don't want to talk about that no more, right? Number one, he was put into the game by Rich Porter. Rich Porter looked out for him, put him in the game. He met Rich Porter's family. People seem to forget that Rich Porter's mom or sister, I forgot which one, and I have a copy of it, right? I'll try to put it up, did an article in Don Diva magazine, and she spoke about Alpo. She spoke about his snake nature, how much he ate at the house, and that he was taken in as he was a family member. And at the end, she said, you wanted to be him. You was a Judas. You know what I'm saying? You know who Judas was.
Yeah,
right?
one of the disciples.
Yeah, he sold Jesus out for some coins or something, right? I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she speaks about it in that terms. You was close to this family, and yet you took that man's life out your own mouth. It's not me saying it. He said it. You took that man's life, right, for a couple of keys, right? And he had nothing to do. I never said he had anything to do with his little brother. He had nothing to do with that. But you took this man's life, and to me, I said that's a snake. That's the signs of a snake, right? Then I said that he was a rat, right? And he himself said he's a rat. In the movie Paid in Full, and this is the main reason why I really didn't like the movie, if you want to know the God's honest truth. At the end of the movie, he sat there in the movie, but this is Alpo's real persona. Listen, man, I'm not gonna give I'm not giving up nobody from Harlem, but I'm gonna give up I'll give you a few DC cats, man. Because when I come home, I'm gonna be the king of New York. Right? And we were in prison when that came out. I was in prison when that came out. And a lot of us in prison from New York, we hated that movie. We was watching it. And then when it took me a while to watch it. When them joints come out, I don't really pay them attention. Then I go ahead and watch them. When that joint came out and everybody was talking about it, I had to see for myself. And I watched it. When it got to the end, I was like, damn, whoever script wrote this. But that's the dude's character. It was true to form. But why put something like that in there anyway? So now you got dudes in jail, New York dudes and DC dudes. I know a lot of DC dudes ain't even like that joint, right? Just for that alone, man. You feel me? It's just a movie, but in reality, that's how the nigga really thought. You can see that, you know what I'm saying? And here he comes home, right? Because I don't hate the man. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess that hates it. I understand him. I just don't like rats, right? So I hate them. But the hate's a strong word.
Yeah.
The only reason why I use that word for them is because you will, to be with your child, to be with your mother and father, your grandparents, you will put another person away from theirs. You will bury him in the ground. You will tell a lie and maybe even the truth, but you will bury that person away so you can be with your family.
It sounds like personal to you because somebody told on you.
Yeah.
So it sounds like,
a few people told on me. And I've been around in prison around a lot of people who's serving life, man, who's in there because somebody who hustled with them got up on that stand, told some truth, told some lie, and told a little bit of both, right?
But isn't that them not being good judges of character to not know that they had a rat in a team?
No, sometimes you don't know you got a rat in your team until the pressure's put on. Yeah, a lot of people ain't gonna stand up and take no time in prison. There's some people who won't do a year. There's some people who won't do 5 years. There's some people that won't do a day. Preacher, the day he got arrested, Preacher told as soon as he got into the car, into the patrol car, Preacher started telling. And then you got these sucker YouTubers, right? Big up in Preacher, like Preacher did something to me. Preacher ain't never put a hand on me ever. Yeah. We had a knife fight. He ain't never knocked me out of anything.
Yeah.
But you got these suckers saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the point is, let me get back to the main topic, bro. This is the last time I'm going to speak about Alpo unless I get a particular guest on.
Yeah.
Who knows him personally, right? So I said he was a snake because of what he did to Rich Porter, and really not what he did to Rich Porter, what he did to Rich Porter's family, his mother, his sister, because he took that man's life, and you knew these people, right? That's some snake shit, for as far as I'm concerned, with that particular issue, because you took his life for some fucking keys. It ain't like he tried to kill you or do something to you. You was a rat by your own mouth, right? So you a snake and you a rat. You know what I'm saying? Of course you would kill it because you killed him. But let's go even further. Why he's a snake. The guy who protected him the most, the guy who looked out for him, you know.
Wayne Perry.
Yeah, you know, he's still doing his time trying to come home, you know what I'm saying? He's in prison away from his family. And you ain't had no problem putting him away. So I look at the small few, I can count on one hand maybe, right? No, maybe definitely not more than two hands of little comments that I got. And the reason why I choose to address them is because I know that those few comments that was in support of Alpo got his character. Probably cold rat lovers and cold-blooded, to me, unprincipled individuals, right? I don't have to know anything about them to know that much about them. Because you know his character from his own mouth, but you big up someone like that. Most of the people doing it, they hide who they are. You don't even see who their face is. It's like, I don't know if it's a fake
account, fake page.
Fake account or what.
Burn the right? Account. And
so I don't mean to make this a big issue, and I'm not gonna talk about it no more, really, right? But one thing I can tell you about having went to trial and faced people who got on the stand against me, right? And having got documents of people who secretly and confidentially gave information to the police to start the investigation, right? They don't care if they telling the truth or false. A person facing life in prison, some people, not everybody, not me, not a lot of others, not Guy Fisher, not William Underwood, not Pete and Stevie Monsantos, not Bumpy Johnson, you know what I'm saying? You know, but a person will say anything on the witness stand, will give the police anything, even if it ain't true. If the prosecutors say, hey, I need you to create something, or I need you to tell me something that I can use to sway a jury to convict somebody. They will lie out the out their teeth
to save themselves.
To save themselves.
Yeah.
And those kind of people I would never trust.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't trust them as far as I can see them. And for all the people who support people like that, do you, right? Do you. But I know in my heart that you just like them. Because if you can't see what I said is to be the truth, that he's a rat, a snake, and of course by his own mouth, a murderer, right? All in one. If you want to continue to make him the face of Harlem, that's on you. I look at others from Harlem. I look at them and I look at what's going on with, what's going on today, how people that got released, same people I mentioned are doing positive things in their communities where they staying, where they living.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say something else. What are you teaching the kids when you try to promote a person like Alpo to the kids in the neighborhood? What you teaching them, right? You know how many other things you can be promoting and talking about? They got a woman that's the Queen of Harlem, right? I forgot her real name, right? But they call her the Queen of Harlem. She's somebody you want to promote. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to get her up here and talk to her about what's going on, what's happening in Harlem. You know what I'm saying?
If your blood brother, I'm just painting a scenario or equation, hypothetical. If your blood brother, somebody that both same mother, same father, told on you, would you disown him as a brother?
Immediately. I disown him so fast, it would be no problem.
Your own brother?
You damn right I would. If he told on me or anybody.
Yeah, you.
If he told on me or anybody, I wouldn't give a damn about him, blood or not. Because my parents didn't raise us, right? They raised us to stand on our own 2 feet. And they always told us, you take responsibility for what you did in your life, right? Don't put that on nobody else's back.
So that code would mean more to you than your own blood.
It's not a code. It's what I was taught.
Yeah.
I was taught whatever, I got to be responsible for the things I did, right? Mm-hmm. I can't put another man in prison because I want to be with my family so he can't be with his, and we did the same thing. In fact, I'm not going to put nobody in prison. He ain't even got to be in my case. I just ain't going to be no rat, no informant, no confidential informant. I'm not going to do it. It's not in me, man. I'll serve the time. I'll do my sentence, man. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let's talk about something else. I was in prison and I heard that Sammy the Bull had a podcast.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, what the hell is this, man? Then I come home and I see everybody else having podcasts. So all kind of rat dudes got podcasts, right? And you laughing, but if you notice, it's not really funny to me, but I understand why you're laughing. You know what I'm saying? You never served 34 and a half years in prison.
Yeah. Then I'm not even 34.
Right. So my point is, it's funny, but it's really not.
Yeah.
When them people that's in prisons, in these numerous institutions, serving time right now, you know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, we take responsibility for our own behavior. Mm-hmm. We're not trying to glorify nothing. But we talking about people who did the same thing we did. Yo, people got podcasts now, right? And they talk and try to act like, oh, I changed this and that, and you can just boom, 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 right? And maybe they did change, right? You know what I'm saying? But these are people who done lied on people, got people still locked up in prison. They ain't trying to go free the people that they told on. They haven't went to their lawyers and say, listen, man, I want to get them out now, man. I lied on this man, or I said things, I added stuff to stuff that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? But back in the days, when they wasn't ring bells and all that stuff, they watch people and shit, those rats would never have a podcast. They would stay so far tucked under a rock They would not want you to know where they was at or where they would never be have a podcast. Back in the days before there was Ring Bell and all that stuff, they would be looking over their shoulder so bad, so afraid. Most of them don't go back to their own neighborhood, and if they do, most of the youngsters don't even know who they are anyway. Mm-hmm. Time done flew by, you know what I'm saying? But my point to you is, nowadays it's different. You can be a rat and do so much in the open because nobody gives a fuck. Yeah. Nobody cares, rather. Excuse me. Yeah. Try not to curse on this podcast. But my point to you is, and I don't mean to be ranting, but we're talking here. We're talking some raw and some real stuff. Yeah. Back in the days, you could never, if you was a person who put somebody away like that in your crew or whatever, you couldn't even walk in the same place because everybody got somebody. You feel me? And they talk, some of them even still try to talk like they still tough. If you was tough, why you even told in the first place? Mm-hmm. You wasn't tough with them people. You tuck your tail with them people, but you didn't talk like you tough. You got people lying, saying, and I don't like to say people's names. You know why? Why? Because I don't want to give them a bigger platform than they already got, than the little platform they may have. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to big up nobody. I don't want to mention names.
Do you think Freeway Rick Ross is a rat?
I don't know much about his case to know to answer that yet. Yeah. You asking me right off the head? Yeah. I haven't.
From what you heard, because they said something about him, like he told on like police, the crooked police, something similar to like Frank Lucas. Like in the movie, they said Frank Lucas told.
Let's stop right there. Frank Lucas actually told on people beside police. Okay. That's another myth that people got from the TV. Frank Lucas told on people that weren't police. He was a straight rat. Mm-hmm. Feel me? Point blank. And by the way, real quick, in the Alpo movie, they make it seem like he got the people who did that to AZ, right? That allegedly did it to AZ in the movie. Yeah. That never happened. That's just a movie version.
Calvin, the guy Calvin.
Yeah. Yeah. In real life, the people who allegedly did that are serving time. Mm-hmm. That's another false thing about the movie. So when a real man, a real individual, a solid person tells you from the street, tell you he ain't like the movie, he's giving you his own opinion. I ain't like the movie because I knew, so it's just a movie. Like people said in the comments, they said, Prince, it's just a movie. I know it's just a movie. I didn't like the movie. First of all, there's a lot of lies told. They made it seem like Alpo was a vicious dude who got back at the people for AZ. People believe that he did that and giving them props like he really did that. He ain't do none of that stuff. Yeah. I like to let him speak for himself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully one day he will. You know what I'm saying? Got you. And whatnot. But so we went all over the place with this.
Freeway. That was the
right Freeway.
Freeway Rick Ross. So
let me look into that. You know what I'm saying? I did time with Freeway. We was in USP Lawn Park before. Really? Freeway Rick. We was in USP Lawn Park together for a little while. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. And he was serving his time that I saw and whatnot. Whatever happened afterwards, I would have to look at, because I haven't, you know me, I don't say, one thing about me, I'll never call somebody no good or a rat or an informant or a confident informant unless I seen it myself or know firsthand with proof. I don't do that. Back in the days before it was Ring Bell, if you called somebody a rat, an informant, or a confident informant, and you don't have proof, you'd have a problem. Yeah. And so my thing is, I like to stick to what I know. Mm-hmm. One thing about Prince, if I say something about some, that's why I'm not going to answer certain things that if you ask me a certain name, I have to look at the paperwork. I have to study it. I have to go into it. That takes time. Sometimes it takes years to know that somebody was the one that got you. It took years for certain people to be exposed because it wasn't all the way clear. And as time went on, it becomes clear. Yeah. You feel me?
If somebody, you said it was a whole bunch of different people that told on your case on you and per se, right? Per se. So if one of those people that told on you back then on that case, if they came to you today and said, yo, I'm wrong. I messed up. I'm sorry. I apologize. What would be your response to them? It doesn't have to be anybody in particular. You said it was plenty of people that told on you. So if they came to you and said, yo, as a man, I'm sorry, man. I couldn't take that time and I'm sorry. What would be your response to them?
The reason why, now I'm gonna keep it real for the viewers, okay? Not to get into names. The only reason you asked me that is because you know that this happened. That happened with me. But the person was straightforward and let me know, yeah, I fucked up and cool. And you know, if the old Prince might have reacted different, right? But you know, I've learned, I've grown, and you can't expect everybody, right, to be like you. Let me tell you something else. I'm gonna get back to that. Make sure you remember this part. I don't want nobody, right, to listen to me or take my word on anything. All I ask a person to do is look at the facts. Look at the facts. Hear a person, I look at the facts. I ain't trying to be nobody's OG, nobody's street legend. I'm not trying to be none of those things, right? I'm a man who got some wisdom after spending 34 and a half years in prison, who came from the streets, who was a product of the streets, who came from a good family, but was a product of the streets, right? And you can learn from anybody. I think I once said this before, but it was a commercial back in the days. They would put two dummies in a car and they would strap them down, one or two dummies in the car, and run them straight into a wall, right? And to see what happens to the dummy, how many parts he broke up at where, so they can learn how to make cars better, safer, right? And it was the impact of the crash they was concerned about. So I use that analogy. At the end of the commercial, it would say, back in the days, you can learn a lot from a dummy. I say that to say, a person can learn a lot from a person's experiences without even having to go through what he went through, right? And
like me.
Yeah, like anybody, anybody. Mm-hmm. Like one time I was watching, whatchamacallit, I was watching Mase and Cameron, an interview they gave. Somebody brought it to my attention and then I watched it, I looked at it. And I understood Mase a little bit because he was saying that, man, I didn't even pay attention to no street OGs. Dudes, OGs, or whatever he said. Mm-hmm. I understood how he felt because there's people who don't pay attention to people from the street. That's cool. He got his opinion, you know what I'm saying? And then there are others who pay attention to people from the street. You can learn from anybody. But he also said his homies would have pulled him aside or whatever. So I understand how he felt. I didn't take it personal that he said that.
He said he don't listen to OGs. Like, who are you?
Right.
I don't know you.
He wasn't talking about me, but the point in general, mm-hmm. I can understand what he's saying. But you can learn from anybody, right? In fact, you know, he didn't come from that, to me, like a hardcore street environment in a way, you know what I'm saying? And so I can't say what his perspective is, but a lot of people did come from that environment. And a lot of people did listen to people from the street, you know what I'm saying? And so, like me, I'm like this. Everybody has their own opinion and viewpoint. I let them just do them. They do them, I do me. When I speak up here, I'm gonna always teach. I used to be a 5%er back in the days. I still am really in a way. But my thing is I feel like a poor righteous teacher. I'm always gonna try to teach. Even in my negativity, I wanna teach. You know what I'm saying? There was times when I'm hustling, but I would take money and just give it away and throw it away and give it out, man, to people out the windows, give it to them.
Throw it on top of the roof.
Not the roof, the fourth floor.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Throw it out the window.
Right. But my point is, but it's not nothing big about that either.
Yeah.
Because I'm selling drugs too.
Mm-hmm.
See? So, you know, but hey, like I've said before, America wasn't built on positivity. It was built on negativity. But here we are. And a lot of positive came out of the negative. So people will talk about people who like me coming home and others who came home and look, they got people be like, yo, one podcast that said, man, they should never let this person out of jail. Who does that? Why would you want to see another black man not be released from prison who's doing positive things in the community since he's been released?
Probably their own trauma that they go through.
Yeah, but what about what they took somebody through?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the point is, everybody got their own opinion and you let them have their opinion. I don't knock nobody because they come from a different upbringing, a different environment that make them feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see Cameron Cameron agreed with it, what Mase said, actually. I don't know if he agreed with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure he got some juice.
I think he just was laughing. I don't think
he might have been laughing. I don't know.
So what Mase was saying, he's not in fear of no OGs. Like he don't never fear no OG. Why should a man fear any other man? I mean, what he's trying to say, that's him. That's for him to feel. I know me personally, I know what I do. You will never see me on a camera, right? Being disrespectful to nobody. Friend, enemy, foe, whatever. I'm not going to disrespect even my enemy, right? I told you before, I'm an avid chess player. I'm a grandmaster. I don't need somebody to give me the title. I'm like that. I can beat people almost 10, 20 times before they win a game. I studied the board, not necessarily the pieces. I learned the pieces, but I studied the board. One thing about the game of chess, the chess links both sides, the left and right side of your brain when you play. It links. I never knew that. It's the truth. There's studies on it, right? It links them. It allows you to look at something and to see patterns. Because chess is about remembering patterns, right? After a while, you start remembering all the moves that you've seen. You know what I'm saying? So it's about remembering patterns. So I play a chess game. Even when I speak up here, right? I'm very careful of what I say. I'm not going to disrespect nobody with falsity. If I say something, it's because it's documented proof that I have, documented proof that someone else said themselves. Like, give you an example. Alpo said the crimes he did already. So anybody can mention it because he already spoke about what he did. So I only say what he said that he did. Him being the snake, a rat, and the killer, it's come from his own mouth. Mm-hmm. You can't refute what I said. You can't get mad at me. The only people get mad is people who hate for no reason, people who are twisting facts. And the rat lovers.
And the people who may be rats themselves. See, our focus is different. My focus is different. So, I just wanted to clear that up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
So you feel like you bringing that level of authenticity to this YouTube world and to this YouTube generation that haven't really been there like that, because you got so many fakers, posers, people that love these type of other people. You're bringing like a level of authenticity to the game. That's necessary.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. Society, when it comes to the hood, to the neighborhoods and that life, that street life, even a little bit of our culture, it's all twisted up. Glorifying people that did snake stuff like that and that put people away. Society, it's kind of messed up. I don't care what nobody say. And that tells you a lot about what's going on. Why do you think so many people now, when they commit these crimes, people tell instantly? Because they believe that they can commit the crimes and tell too. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Let's stop the crime, right? Just don't even do it. Don't do it because you know you're going to tell anyway and you're going to get away with it. You know what I'm saying? People taking life, and as soon as they get arrested, they become snitches. But you taking somebody's life, and then it's just terrible, man. The whole thing is terrible. I'm not advocating nothing or glorifying anything that I did or the past or anything. But one thing about Prince, I will not get on this platform and say something about somebody that ain't true unless I got facts. And I'm definitely not going to call somebody that, because that's always something that you be careful with your tongue about, But
got you.
Yeah. Once again, y'all, This was a small episode of the Prince Miller Show. Had to clear up a few things and whatnot. See you again soon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be watching the comments this time. And y'all stay well, man. Peace.